Excuse me? Yeah, you. I'm talking to you, the guy watching this YouTube video. The same guy that's probably watched like 100 of these videos about moving to Thailand, but you're still sitting in your home country thinking about it. I was you once. I know what it's like. Hey, I've got an idea for you. I want you to think about the pros and cons of being a 50-50 expat. That's right, living in your home country for about half the year and half the year in Thailand, either as a permanent plan or maybe a temporary one for a year or two while you make up your mind what to do. Because let's face it, moving to a foreign country, especially a culture as different as Thailand, is a huge life-changing decision. But there's some real advantages to just doing it 50-50. There's health insurance implications, there's tax benefits, a lot of stuff to talk about. Sawadee Kap, Sawadee Mai Kap, and welcome to Chiang Mai, Thailand. Hey, today's video is kind of different. This may not apply to everybody out there. For those of you that are already living full-time in Thailand, probably not of interest to you. But for a lot of people out there, this video might really be kind of a life changer for you. I get a lot of comments on the videos and to my email. A lot of people saying, I really want to move to Thailand. I want to retire in Thailand. And they just can't quite pull the trigger. I mean, certain issues are holding them back, or maybe they're kind of putting it off and saying next year, next year, next year, and next year may never come. So I've got some ideas that I think might help you come to Thailand earlier and start making a life here. And that's being a 50-50 expat. In other words, live half your life in Thailand and half your life in your home country. Or I guess in theory, you could be half your life in Thailand and half your life in another vacation spot like Mexico or the Philippines, whatever it might be. But there's a few really big benefits to only living in Thailand for half the year. So let's talk about what they are. I want to start with a really evil word, tax. I mean, we hate tax in our home countries. The last thing we want to do is deal with it in Thailand too. But things are changing. And this is actually, if you haven't heard, a major concern for foreigners and expats that live in Thailand. This new tax law is only applicable to Thai residents. And you're only considered to be a Thai resident if you spend 180 days or more in the country, so basically 6 months. And it doesn't matter whether it's 180 days in a row or you make 3 trips and you spend 60 days on each one. It doesn't matter. 180 days in a taxable year and you are a Thai resident and subject to paying tax. So I'm going to detail the basics of that. But the good news is, if you don't live here 180 days, if you're a 50-50 expat, you can ignore everything I'm about to say because it doesn't even apply to you. But if you haven't heard of it, basically this is the scoop on taxes. The new law, effective January 1st, 2024, is that even if you are a non-Thai citizen, if you are a Thai resident, your foreign income is taxable that you bring into the country. Okay, so as of this moment, it's not taxable for income that you keep in your home country. The old law still taxed foreign income, but it was only if you bring the income into Thailand in the same year that you earned that income. So people could avoid that tax very simply by earning income in, let's say, 2023, and then bringing it into the country in 2024. My understanding from what most tax officials have said is that the whole purpose of the tax change isn't to go after foreigners. It's actually to go after uber wealthy Thais that are investing overseas and not paying any taxable income to Thailand. So now it's going to be applying to all Thai residents. There's a twist though, is that they're now talking about making everything taxable on what they call worldwide income, meaning whether you bring it into Thailand or not, just the fact that you earned that income, if you're a Thai tax resident, that you're going to be taxed on that. So that's a bigger concern for people. Now, that part isn't law yet. That's just one of those things that they're talking about. I've got to tell you that personally, even if that new law takes effect, I'm not that worried about it. And most of the people that I know that are really versed in the tax issue somewhat are not too worried about it. And here's why. There's something called the Double Taxation Treaty, and there's 61 nations that have an agreement with the Thai government that there will be no double tax. So in other words, if I as an American pay tax on my American income, whatever it might be, I'm not going to be taxed on that same income in Thailand unless the tax rate is lower in my home country, or if it's an income that's not taxed at all in my home country. Now, I have the disadvantage of being an American where they tax us for everything, including capital gains on everything. But in this instance, it's an advantage for me because I've already been taxed on it in America. I'm not going to be taxed on it again in Thailand. I'll put a list up on screen of not all 61 countries, but I'll put the countries that I know most of my viewers are from. And I'll tell you, for example, the United States has a double taxation treaty with Thailand. Canada does, Australia does, the UK does. So most of you watching, this is going to apply to you. The only time that you're probably going to get hit is if you're from a country that doesn't tax something. Like, let's say, for example, I think that Canada does not tax capital gains, at least not for real estate. So that means if you had a capital gain that's not taxed in your home country, Thailand would have the right to tax you on it. So that could be a big hit for you. Again, we don't know yet if it's actually going to apply to worldwide income, so you could probably just keep that income out of the country, out of Thailand, and then it wouldn't be a problem. But anyway, this is a concern for people. Another nice thing that's encouraging is a lot of people worry about their pensions, or their Social Security being taxable. Well, for a lot of us, our pensions or our Social Security, our income we derive from that is taxable in America. So again, it's not an issue. But if it is some kind of a revenue source for retirement that's not taxable, there have been some statements from Thai government officials that they're not after foreigners' pensions. Now, again, that's just a statement. We don't know. But I really don't think that they want to damage their tourism and chase away well-to-do expats and foreigners by imposing this tax. Again, the whole goal is to go after wealthy Thais evading tax. So again, if you're there 180 days, erase. Just forget everything I said. Don't even worry about it. Now, the next big one to talk about, and this is a really big one, is health insurance. Because as we get older, let's face it, we've got a lot of stuff wrong with us and things are more likely to go wrong in the future. So health insurance is important. Now, of course, you can buy health insurance in Thailand, but what if you're too old to get it? What if you're over 70 or 75, whatever the top age might be to get a new policy? If you have a policy in Thailand, it can quite often go till you're 99, but getting a new policy can be a problem. And another problem is that it may exclude pre-existing conditions. And again, as you get older, we have a lot of those. Now you can buy travel insurance, and some will or some won't cover pre-existing conditions. But again, it's the same issue. So here's the big benefit. Now, I'm really talking to Americans right now because as an American, I know more about our Medicare system. I'm not really as well versed what you get in Australia and the UK and Canada. So maybe what I'm going to be saying will be valuable for you and maybe it won't. But with pure Medicare, the saying goes is that Medicare does not cross the border. So as a general rule, if you've got pure Medicare, the bad news is it's not going to cover you overseas. But I did a video letting people know that that's not completely true. It's true regarding pure Medicare, but a lot of people don't just have pure Medicare. You can take certain supplement plans, and you can also take Advantage plans, HMO plans with Kaiser and Humana and companies like that. And many of those companies will treat you like their own insured, not as a Medicare recipient with Medicare rules, but let's say with Kaiser, who I have, the same rules that they apply to every Kaiser member or every Humana member, every Blue Cross, whatever it might be. And all these insurers that I'm talking about for their Advantage plans give you quite often 6 months that you can be out of the country. They will cover you for emergency care. So this is huge because unlike getting a new policy in Thailand or getting travel insurance, it's going to cover your pre-existing conditions. So if you travel to Thailand or wherever you might go and you've got a pre-existing heart condition and you have a heart attack, then it should be covered. So check out the video that I did. It's really very detailed and it might help you a lot. Some of these Advantage plans, these HMOs, actually cover people for a full year out of the country. You just got to read the actual policies of each policy you're considering getting and finding out. But again, the big benefit, and this is huge, that you can stay, for most of these plans anyway, 6 months in Thailand, and you're going to keep your health insurance. It's only for emergencies, but hey, you're not going to be going to Thailand to get a regular physical or something like that. So anything that's considered an emergency, you can get covered, and it's going to cover your pre-existing conditions as well. So that is potentially a huge benefit. So I think tax and health insurance, those are really two biggies. But for a lot of people, there's a couple other things that are really equally important. For example, I get a lot of messages from people that tell me that they really want to make this move, but they're just not sure it's right for them. And they're worried, understandably, about maybe selling everything they've got and moving to a new country, and then thinking, what if it doesn't work out? Well, this is a great way to kind of gently, dip your toes in the water to come and spend 6 months in Thailand. You'll get a real feel for what it's like. You'll experience, at least 2 seasons. You can either spend all of those 6 months in one part of Thailand or maybe divide it up and spend 3 months in Chiang Mai in the north, my city that I love, or maybe you're more inclined to be in a huge metropolis like Bangkok, or you want to be in a big island city like Phuket, or you want to be in kind of naughty adventure town like Pattaya, or a little quiet island life like Koh Samui, whatever it might be, you could really check it out. And it's no problem getting a nice condo or renting a house for a month-to-month basis or a 6-month lease. So you can really get a feel for the community, see what it's going to be like before you make that move. And even if you've decided, hey, okay, I love Thailand, you might still be a little bit reticent to give up your home life completely. I'll use myself as an example. I mean, I love Thailand. I consider myself basically an expat, but I still have my California home. I love my house. I can't quite get myself to sell it and give it up. And there's a lot of personal reasons for a lot of you. Like for me, I bet a lot of you can identify with this. My parents are thankfully still alive and doing well. My dad's 95, my mom is 90. They still live in the same house where I grew up, but they live there with no help. They're completely independent. But I can't just disappear for 6 months at a time. So I have to go back and forth every few months. So if I spend 2 to 3 months in Thailand, I've got to come back to the US for a little bit just to be there for my parents. And I would feel bad for them if I just moved away. And so I bet a lot of you can identify with that. And another great thing is you can choose the seasons when you come to Thailand. As much as I love Thailand, I don't like certain times of the year. I don't like the summer months, and I don't like the burning season in Thailand, which pretty much coincides with the summer. The burning season for Chiang Mai is February, March, April. That's when farmers in the surrounding countries and the hillsides of Thailand burn their crops, and it kind of settles in Chiang Mai because it's like a bowl in a valley. So we have very bad air quality for those months, and a lot of us leave during those months. I typically do. But my point is that you can choose the best months to be in Thailand. And it might actually coincide that you're avoiding the worst months in your home country. As an example, for me, the best months in Thailand would be the tail end of the rainy season. I actually love the rainy season. It's not as rainy as people think. Yeah, we get a big storm or two, but for the most part, it's just cloudy skies and an hour or two of rain once a day. But it's beautiful, clean air, green hillsides. So going from the rainy season into winter. And of course, winter in Thailand is not like winter in the eastern United States or something. The winter in Thailand is the best months in terms of it's warm or less hot and less humid than in the summer. So it gives you a lot of opportunities and a chance to enjoy Thailand with the weather you like the most for the city that you're going to be in. Another big advantage to being a 50% expat is visas. Full-timers in Thailand hate visas and all the requirements. So for you, there's none of that. You don't have to get a retirement visa, a non-O or a non-OA with all the requirements that can come with that, like health insurance or minimum monthly income or keeping a substantial amount of money in a Thai bank account. None of that. With the new laws changing the visa entry program, where for almost every country, instead of getting 30 days upon arrival, you get 60 with no visa being required. And at the end of the 60 days, you can easily extend it while you're in country for another 30 days. So that brings you to 90 days. So if you want to stay 6 months, you could leave the country for a couple days, what they call a border run, and just come back in and repeat the process. Or you could get a 6-month multi-entry visa. Or maybe the new DTV visa that everybody's talking about, which is for 180 days and gives you the option to renew it. I did a video on that, but we're still learning kind of exactly how the government is going to implement it, but it might be ideal for the 50% expat. You've got it easy compared to full-time Thai residents. Another victory for the 50% expat. Let's celebrate. What about friends? You're probably like me. You've got some great friends in your home country, and you're kind of sad to, I won't say lose them, because you're not losing them, you just don't get to see them as much. But a lot of people are kind of nervous about, am I going to make new friends in Thailand? And I've done a lot of videos on that. So if you haven't already seen them, take a minute to find our other videos and scan some of those titles. It's really easy to find our other titles if you don't know how to do it. And check those out. And I think you'll find that it's actually easier to make friends in Thailand if you've got the nice, right attitude. It's easier to make friends in Thailand than it is in your home country, actually. So I think that you'll actually have a better social life in Thailand than you probably have in your home country. But you may not believe me, and your experience might be different than mine. So this gives you a great chance to go to Thailand, make friends, and when you go back 6 months later for your next visit, if you're going to the same city, you've got a whole set of Thai and Western friends that are there for you. Okay, last let me touch on dating, because a lot of people, especially if you're a guy watching this, and especially if you're a single guy, you're probably thinking about dating a woman in Thailand. And I'm ecstatic that I found Joy as my partner. And I hope that you're as lucky as I am in meeting the right person. But a lot of people are really nervous about that. They've got no idea what it's going to be like to dating a Thai woman. And they kind of worry, will a Thai woman like me? And again, I've done some really good videos with Joy on this. So check them out, because they talk specifically about dating, what to do, what not to do, what kind of woman do you want to date? Do you want to find like a nice Thai girl like me, or do you want to kind of go on the fun and naughty side? Whatever it might be, those options are there for you in Thailand. But the only way to really experience it is to come here and live the life and see if you find a future partner. And that might be the motivation once you've spent 6 months with somebody to say, you know what? This is the last step for me. I now know I can make a full-time life in Thailand. Now, there are disadvantages to this plan. I mean, the obvious one, and really the only one that I can see, is money, is the cost of doing this. Because let's say that you stay 6 months in Thailand, and then you leave for 6 months and you come back, go back and forth. Well, that's basically meaning that, let's just say every January 1st, you're coming in for your 6 months. So once a year, you've got a round trip ticket to Thailand. So that's an expense that you wouldn't have if you were living full-time in Thailand. But maybe it's not an extra expense because, hey, a lot of us that live here, well, we don't just stay in Thailand, we travel all over the world. That's a cool thing about Thailand, is it's a great launching point to go to other Asian countries. So the difference is that you're spending 6 months in Thailand and then you're leaving to go to your home country or to another country. But what about other expenses? Because, I mean, if you're going to be going to your home country or another country, you'd need to pay for your costs there. Now, maybe you can arrange something where it's like Thailand, where you're just renting something for 6 months and then leaving. But more likely, you probably have a place in your home country already and you just want to keep it. And yeah, there is going to be expenses to keeping your home country property. So that is, a negative to this plan. But I think for a lot of people, the benefits are going to outweigh the cost. Hey, I hope my 50-50 expat idea is maybe a game changer for you. It gives you something to think about and may get you here in Thailand sooner. Because I want you guys to have the same kind of great life that I've found here. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. And I actually want to ask you to make this video even more helpful, because I'm a really lucky guy. I've got some super nice and intelligent subscribers to this channel, and they put some really smart things in the comments down below. So I bet you there's some things that I'm not thinking of in terms of some advantages or disadvantages to kind of my 50-50 split idea. So feel free to share whatever good ideas you have that might be helpful to our little Thai community here or our soon-to-be Thai community, and I would really appreciate it. So if you're watching this video, check out the comments and you're going to probably see some really good suggestions. And if you know someone that is maybe thinking of making the move to Thailand, and I bet you know a lot of people like that, I hope that you'll copy the link and share it so they can get the benefit of all this information. I hope you take a minute to subscribe to this video and all that stuff. I hope you give it a like. I hope you share it. All those things help my channel to grow and I would appreciate it. So until I see you guys again, Kap Kun Kap and safe travels.